All right. How's everybody doing today? So excited to have everybody here. I got our wonderful people in the Zoom room. And for those of you guys who are watching us on Facebook live stream, welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy you're here today. We've got a great topic for you guys today. We're really going to be talking about the things that keep you from taking action. And I got to tell you, it's a conversation I've been having a lot with a lot of our clients. So I'm excited to do this today. But before we get started, do me a favor in the chat. Will you tell me where you are from? Go ahead and put that in the chat. And if you guys are watching us on Facebook Live, that would be great. Go ahead and put in the chat where you are from. Want to know, want to know. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, just type that in the chat and then in the group. So great, so great. Northwest Washington, is that Washington, Shauna? I think that's where you might be. Nick, say it's so good to see you. I'm glad you are joining us in the Facebook group. That's great. Hilton Head, South Carolina. Absolutely, Rita. So good to see you. Love it. Ording, Washington. Fantastic. So we got some Washington folks here today. Love it. Arkansas. Yes, yes, yes. So thank you for that. Southeastern Wisconsin. So we got folks all over the country. I love that. Okay, before we get into our topic, I actually want to say a big congratulations to Linda King. She is our brand spanking newest member into our 12 Weeks to Breakthrough program. She's so big, huge applause for Linda on that. And then for our other person who just joined us in 12 Weeks to Breakthrough, that would be Miss Savannah Boyer. So yay, congratulations to you ladies. So excited to have you part of our program. It's an amazing thing. All right, so let's get into our topic. I'm going to go pretty quickly today. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the 5 top things that end up holding you back, or the things that you don't take action on. But then I'm going to give you like 5 bonus ones that maybe aren't so common. And then we're going to talk about 10 things that you can do to really overcome those issues. Now, one thing I always love, love, love is your participation. So if you do have any questions, either in the Facebook Live, put them in there. I'll keep looking out for those, as well as in the chat here. If we need to stop, I will go ahead and ask you, if you are in the Zoom room, you can, if you've got a question, you can always raise your hand, unmute yourself, and then you can ask that question there as well. All righty then. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Share. And this was a quote that I actually put on my own personal page this week, and it got a lot of attention. It was interesting, and I posited this. I said, when you know how to do something really well, you are never afraid to take action. When you are unsure of yourself, you'll find excuses. So I am curious from you guys, how many of you actually feel this? How many of you know this? Tell me I agree in the Facebook comments or in the chat here if you agree with this. When you know how to do something really well, you are never afraid to take action. When you are unsure of yourself, you find excuses. Let me know what you think on that. I am very, very curious what your thoughts are on that. Yeah, absolutely. So some of you guys are saying, yes, I agree. Don't like to admit it, but agree, Savannah. I like that. Yep. You know what? A lot of people, they think that it's because that, there's something wrong with them, but honestly, it's not. We're going to kind of get into that just a little bit today. Nick says, I do for sure. Sherry says, very true. You're so right. I mean, this is kind of a misconception that people have, that they think there's something wrong with them. They don't take action. They just think they're lazy, or they maybe think that they are, they should be ashamed of themselves. But honestly, it's when you really know how to do it, you do really well. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to just talk about these things, the 5 things that keep you from taking action. And these are the top things that I hear from all the time from agents. And Nick, I like what you're saying. It's so many variables and always get distracted. You can. An interesting thing too, Nick, can you tell me if you agree with this or not? But even when we really love to do something and we need to take action, sometimes we will even absolutely make sure that those distractions are not there. So you'll go take action. Just a thought. Just a thought. Now, sometimes obviously distractions happen, like Savannah and I were talking this morning and, she's got 4 kids at home. Like, yeah, sometimes it's just going to happen. But we're going to really talk about the things that keep you from taking action a little bit deeper level than that. So let's really talk about the 5 things. I'm going to kind of talk about each of them individually and unpack them a bit. So first of all, lack of knowledge or skill. Now, a lot of times we end up needing to do something. And if we don't do it, we just feel like, oh, it's just, I should know that. I should know this. I should know that. Has anybody ever done that? Put should in the chat or should in the comments if you feel like you should know something, but then you discover you don't. Should. Are you a shoulder? Do you should all over yourself? I always talk about that all the time. We think we should know things, especially like you might have even been in the business for 10, 15 years and you think you should know something. But when you don't take action on it, my first question for you is, do you know it? To know and not to do is not to know. Nick, I love it. You should all over the place. Yes, I love that, Nick. Fantastic. Okay. To know and not to do is not to know.
Hello.
And that's okay.
Hey.
Right? Oh, I'll mute Linda over here. There we go. Okay. Let's go through the next one. Fear of failure. If we don't know something or we're about to do something, are we afraid to fail? Are we really, really afraid to fail? Like, are you the type of person that you hold yourself to such a strong expectation that even if you're about to do it, if you think you're going to fail, you just don't do it? That could absolutely be something that keeps you from taking action for sure. Now, here's one that's really big. This is one of the biggest ones I see for a lot of agents, especially if they're experienced agents. And this is the fear of being wrong or looking bad. The fear of being wrong or looking bad. Does that sound familiar to everyone? Say, that's me in the chat if that's you. Fear of being wrong or looking bad. For example, this comes up quite often with agents who don't do a lot of marketing and they're afraid to market to their sphere of influence and because they're afraid they're going to look bad. They're going to look salesy. I don't want to come off as a salesperson. They're afraid they're going to look bad. So they don't do it. Is that anybody in this group? Mm-hmm. Sometimes that is absolutely. Yeah, that's one you haven't encountered before, Sherry. That's interesting. And you know what? And some people not, right? Some people you're saying, yes, that is me. Rita saying, yes, that is you. Absolutely. We are afraid that we're going to look bad or be wrong. And we just don't want to do that. By the way, that's the biggest fear that virtually everybody has across the board. It's not just in real estate, but anybody has across the board is that feeling of they don't want to be wrong. They don't look bad. Anything. Okay, here's a big one. How about overwhelm? That leads to shut down. Here's an interesting thing, guys. And you tell me if this has happened to you before. This one of my clients, she's just done Beverly. She's done an extraordinary job on this one, because what she used to do is if she knew she needed to take action on something, but she didn't do it. Now, normally it was because she actually didn't know how to do it. But when she didn't do it, and she's been in the business 18 years, but if she didn't do it, she would wait. And then the next day she knew she needed to do it, but then she would wait. Okay. And then she would do it. And all of a sudden she's got so much that she has to do that she just gets completely overwhelmed and shuts down and doesn't do it at all. How many of you guys have ever felt overwhelmed before and to the point you got stuck? You didn't take action. Do me a favor and type overwhelm in the chat. Is that you? Have you ever just been overwhelmed and you shut down? Linda, overwhelmed now. Wow, that's great. Good thing that we're coaching. That's a beautiful thing. Overwhelm, overwhelm, overwhelm. That's coming up a lot. Absolutely. Absolutely. It happens all the time. So these are the things that are the most common. Here's another one, lack of time. Lack of time. You just are so, uh, you just don't have enough time in the day. So for example, you tell me if this sounds like you. You've got a lot of family obligations. You maybe have another job. You maybe have a lot of kids at home. So you are really struggling with the time it takes to do everything that you need to do. And then when you don't have time, the things just fall off. You're just not able to take action just because of time. Okay, so here's what we know. The top 5 pretty much for everybody. And by the way, this doesn't necessarily just mean in real estate. These could be things all over the place. This could be lack of knowledge or skill in parenting. Try that one on for size, right? Fear of failure, fear of being wrong or looking bad, overwhelm leading to shutdown, or lack of time. Those are the top 5. All right, now I'm going to give you 5 that are less common than those, but I hear quite often from our clients. So here's the first one: fear of positive outcomes and commitment. Fear that if you do it and you're good at it, you're going to be expected to do it over and over again, and people have expectations of you, or you're going to have to commit to something that you don't necessarily want to do. Have you heard of that one before? Is that interesting? Okay, here's one that I actually hear quite often: imposter syndrome. You feel like you're an imposter. You're out there doing the job and you're trying to do the best you can. And all of a sudden you're going, oop, I hope someone doesn't catch me because I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, I got to tell you, that is so common. And I don't care how long you've been in the business, imposter syndrome comes up all the time. Has anyone on here ever felt like an imposter? Do me a favor, type imposter in the chat and in the comments if you feel you've been that. While the way, I'm gonna read Nick's comments while you're commenting there. Nick said, just bought a time management course a week or 2 ago or so, helps with the clutter, personal development, other stuff too, but still, that's funny. I'm in the right place, I guess you should. Nick, I always love your comments. You're fun. You're just fun. So imposter, imposter, imposter. Yes, we do feel like we're imposters. Okay. By the way, I want to jump back. Hey, Ed, good to see you. Edward, good to see you. And I see overwhelm. Absolutely. That's there. So I'm so glad you brought that up. Here's another one that's not so common: fear of change and the unknown. Okay, I'm about to go into something, and this is different than I've done before. Has anybody been in the business a while and something new comes up? Like, for example, here's a couple things. Using AI, fear of change. People don't want that change. I hear that all the time. I absolutely don't want that change. I don't want to have to do that. I want to keep doing the same thing we've always done. Okay. Fear of change and the unknown comes up all the time. Here's another one for you: fear of accountability, criticism, or judgment. By the way, this is the #1 reason people actually don't get coaches. It's the reason people don't get coaches, because they don't want to feel like they're being criticized or judged for anything. Isn't that fascinating? It's one of the reasons. It's a big reason. Okay. Right. All right. Let's go to the next one. How about nostalgia? Nostalgia. What that basically means is, at my last brokerage, we always did it this way. So I don't want to do the way you're doing it because we've always done it this way. Has anyone ever done that before? Yep, which is Rita's raising her hand. Okay. Who else has had nostalgia happen before? Put me in the chat. I won't make you type out all the words of nostalgia, but put me in the chat if that sounds like you. You've had nostalgia before. Let's look at 5 more. By the way, who's my nostalgia people? Nick says, 4 is nuts, F what they think. Okay. I got it, Nick. You know what? You're actually not necessarily the normal guy on that, by the way. Good for you, Nick. I love that you stand out, though. It's great. Linda says, if you always do what you have always done, you get what you have always got. Absolutely. Absolutely. Change happens, right? Embrace that change. Here's the next thing. How about this one? Oop, I went too fast. There we are. Oh, I thought I had 5. Let's go. Oh, no, never mind. Okay, so these are 10 things that are our most common. These are common and uncommon things. But now let's really get into how do we solve for that then? Let's talk about solutions for inaction. Number one thing, if you guys haven't heard me say this before, you guys have been with me for a while, coming to our live streams a while, you're going to know what I'm going to say. What do you think I'm going to say? Yes, get a coach, get training. Because here's the thing you need to understand. You were probably not born with the real estate gene that allows you to learn something through osmosis and come right into your head. You are allowed not to know what you don't know. Give yourself that break, if you would, please. You are allowed to not know, and therefore getting education. And again, some of you guys have been in the business for a very long time. Some of you guys have been brokerage owners. Edward, I know that that's been you, right? You have been that type of person, okay? And yet even you doing what you've done, coaching and training. Linda, I know you've been in the business for a long time, coaching, training. Rita, actually, all you guys who I'm seeing on today, right? Coaching and training. So for you guys who are on here who haven't been around for a long time, that happens, that will happen all the time. This is a business that needs constant training. And when you are getting that training, sometimes you need a coach to help you really ingrain it. So just that thought on that. Here's the next thing. Embrace imperfection. Embrace imperfection. I put a really short video in our Facebook group a couple of days ago, and it's all about taking imperfect, consistent action. Taking imperfect, consistent action. You cannot be perfect. How many of you guys have ever done this? And type me in the chat if this is you. You've sat down and you were going to make the most perfect flyer for your open houses, and you ended up doing that for 2 days straight and didn't even get in to do your lead generation because you needed to have a perfect flyer. Has anybody ever done that? Type me in the chat if you've been that person. By the way, I'm going to put, I'll type me in the chat for me. Have we ever get caught up in doing things that you need to make sure it looks so perfect before you send it out? The perfect email, the perfect listing comments, right? The perfect. Sherry's saying, absolutely, that's me. Doing that now, Savannah says, sure, absolutely. Recovering perfectionist here. I love you guys' comments. These are all great. That's exactly it. So imperfect, consistent action. By the way, the most important word there is consistent. Keep doing it, being consistent. All right, the next thing we don't think about is setting clear goals. Now, what is a clear goal? Well, a clear goal is not saying something like, you know what, I'm going to do more transactions. Can someone tell me what that is? What are more transactions? What does that mean? Could mean different things to different people. So setting clear goals are SMART goals. Take a note on this if you want to take a real quick note. A SMART goal. A SMART is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. What does that mean? So instead of saying I'm going to do more transactions, say I want to go on 17 appointments over the next 3 months in order to achieve at least 2 listings. Okay, very smart. Is that specific? Yes. Is it measurable? Absolutely. Is it attainable? Sure, why not? Is it relevant? Well, if you're going after listings, it sure is. And is it time bound? We said in the next 3 months. So setting clear goals, so important to know what you're supposed to be doing. Here's one of my favorites. Please get a positive and proactive accountability partner. Positive and proactive. Okay. Positive. What that means is you're meeting with someone who's got your back. It's not someone that necessarily lets you get off the hook, but it's someone who's got your back, who's helping you kind of see where your blind spots are. It's going to be that person who shows up. It's going to be that person who, if you guys agree you're going to do something, you're going to email each other something, they actually do it. They are proactive in what they're doing. By the way, it's really great to have somebody who's a great role play partner for you too. Why? Because the next one is practice, practice, practice. Now, how many of you is practice a 4-letter word? Is practice a dirty word for some of you guys? It is so common. It is so common that people say, I don't want to role play and practice with someone. I'll look stupid. Does that sound familiar from our lack of taking action? When you have a great accountability partner and you can practice with each other and you really help each other get better, you're way, way more likely to get things done for sure. Sherry says, yep, absolutely. Nick says, keep looking. Nowadays, it's more possible than ever, ever before. Absolutely. Absolutely it is, Nick, for sure. Here's the thing. Have that role play partner. Make sure you're practicing. You've got that accountability partner. As you'll notice in here, we've got 3 of these 5 are all about having people and support in your world. We are, first of all, in real estate, we are people. Okay. We always want to make sure that we have people that surround us that help really hold us up. That's what we're looking for here. So get that amazing accountability partner and practice, practice, practice. How about this? Now, this is something that most people don't necessarily understand, and they may not have heard before. And it's called understand your creative energy. All right. There are basically 3 different things that any agent does in any given day. These are your big buckets. The first one is admin. The second one is lead generation. And the third one is client servicing your clients. Okay. Now, in admin, there's a lot of creative things that happen there. For example, let's say that you are putting together your reel for the day on Instagram, or maybe you are writing an email campaign, or maybe you're really trying to put together some offers, right? Now, those might be different things. When during the day are you at your highest and best to get those things done quickly so that the other things can happen? Now, I'll give you an example of myself, but then I'll give you an example of someone else that I coach. So for me, I'm in the office first thing, like literally first thing. 4:30 in the morning is my most creative time. I literally roll out of bed, grab a cup of coffee, and get into my office. That I know between 4:30 and 6:30 is my most creative time. I get all sorts of stuff done at that time. After then, I'm getting in the shower, getting ready. 9 o'clock, I'm with clients. So my creative space is then. Now I have another client though, that she does not even go to bed till 2. She gets up, and when she gets to work, it's actually lead gen time. She'll get to work about 11 or noon, and she does lead gen first. In the evening is when she likes to do all her creative time. Now, you may have been taught by some coaches, and I do not follow this, by the way. You've taught by some coaches that you need to do your lead generation first thing in the morning and everything else comes later. Well, the problem is that if we have to do a lot of administrative stuff while we're doing our lead gen, we have that administrative stuff in the back of our mind. Okay, sometimes that happens to people. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Understand your creative energy and when is actually the best time for you to get those 3 buckets put in. Usually we know client servicing is going to be in the afternoon. So when is the admin time, and then when is going to be the lead gen time? Both of those things absolutely must happen, but put them in the order that really follows your energy. Next, create a time plan and time block it. Time plan and time block are two different things. A time plan basically says, here's our creative energy. Here's how I work. This is my process. We put a time plan together, and then that gets time blocked onto your calendar every single week. So having a time plan is so important. By the way, Nick, I really love like you're saying there. The more you honor yourself, the more you can help the world. Oxygen mask analogy type deal too. I agree with that. I so agree with that. Right? Honor who you are, honor your process, and then put that into a time plan in your calendar. How about this? Chunk it down. Has anybody ever looked at all the stuff they have to do in one big thing and they go, oh my gosh, I have that much to do, and then you shut down? That happens. So having the ability to take the things you're doing and chunk it down. For example, I have one of my clients and he knows that he has a chunk of time that he will do things. And at that, he puts a stopwatch on it. And when it stops, he stops. He's done. Because if he's not, he will get overwhelmed and doing more and doing more and doing more. For example, let's say that you know that you need to make 20 phone calls today. Okay. And you get to your 20 phone calls and you make more. Ooh, I'm going to go to 30. I'm going to go to 40. And then the next day, if you're the competitive types, tell me if you're right on this. The next day, what happens is that now you expect yourself to do 30 or 40 because you did yesterday. And then all of a sudden you get overwhelmed because maybe you're only getting in 10. And then you shut down. So chunking things down and making sure you put it in bite-sized pieces that are reasonable and you stop no matter what, that's where we go there. All right. Change how you identify with taking action. Okay. So this is an interesting one. And you might have heard this story before, but I'll share it again. So I was hiring an assistant a few years ago. And boy, at the time, I just was such a procrastinator. I mean, I was always showing up late for stuff and I wouldn't get things done and whatever. I thought that's why I need an assistant. Well, I met with the assistant and he sent me a follow-up email. And in the email, he said, I just want to let you know a couple more things about me. And one of the things he told me that he wanted me to know is that he procrastinates later. Get it? He procrastinates later. He procrastinates procrastination. And when I read that, at that moment, I changed my identity. I used to call myself a procrastinator. And I realized that I had an identity of being a procrastinator. So I procrastinated. Now, if you guys know me, I don't procrastinate anything. It's like cannonballs in the deep end, let's get her done. Imperfect, consistent action. I just don't procrastinate anymore. Once you change your identity to things, that really helps you. For example, if you tell yourself that you really never know how to do stuff, or try this one for size. How many of you guys have thought of yourselves as you're not a techie? You're not a techie. No, I don't like technology. I'm not a techie. I hear that all the time. What? And so you don't take action. You don't learn your CRM. You don't put things together. You don't even dive into AI because you're not a techie. That's your identity. What if you chose to say, I'm becoming a techie? How would that change how you approach things? I'm a techie, right? Excellent. Next thing is, how about this one? Embrace canine. Now, this is my last one, and this one is kind of central to all of these things. Kanai stands for constant and never-ending improvement. It's a Tony Robbins term, constant and never-ending improvement. Always embrace the fact that you will always be looking to improve, looking to do new things, and therefore you're always going to be just outside your comfort zone, especially in real estate. You are always just outside your comfort zone. So these are really the things that are the top things that keep people from taking action and the things that you can do to solve it. So real quick, this is a nice quick session today. Before I let you go, does anybody have a quick aha? Everybody do me a favor, in the chat or in the comments, put just one aha that you had from our session today. Type that in for me if you can. I always love to hear from you guys, by the way, and you always help me get better every time that you share these kind of things with me. By the way, while you're typing that in, I am going to encourage you guys, if there are things that you want to know about, if there's like these live streams that I'm doing every week, if there's a particular topic, please go ahead and put that in the Facebook group. Just put a comment in there. I always look at those things. Really, really great to get your feedback on the things that you want to hear most. Linda, thanks so much chunking it down. That's your big one for today. Absolutely. Nick, so many gems. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. That's good. Who else? What's your biggest ahas from today? Definitely a rewatcher. Oh, good. Thank you. I like this. Share it too. Feel free to share it with your friends. Invite them into the group, share it with your friends. That's fantastic. This will be replaying in the group as soon as we're done here. Savannah says, change how you identify with taking action. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay, so here's one thing I am going to invite you to. If it's some of you guys, I think everybody who's in the Zoom room, I have just had such a nice time talking with you guys a lot. I've done that before. Some people I haven't. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to invite you on this. If you'd like to learn, by the way, my company is Finley-RE Coaching and Consulting. And we really help agents double their production, create consistent, predictable, and sustainable income, all while not working a minute more. If you would like to know how, gosh darn, we do that and join Savannah and Linda, who just joined with us, all you have to do is schedule a quick 10 to 15-minute call with me. I am so happy just to sit down with you. Here's the thing, just scan this QR code, schedule your discovery call, because we're going to discover things together right away. Don't wait, take action. Just take action. Absolutely. Love it. Okay. I'd love to sit down and chat with you. I've been having some really great conversations with you guys. So thank you so much for folks who've sat down with me. And by the way, thank you for being with me today. I so appreciate you guys. You guys feed my soul every week. I love being here. By the way, next week, we're going to keep on our term of taking action, but I'm going to show you how to take action inside your social media so you can master the Facebook and Instagram algorithms. Ooh, mastering algorithms so you can take action in your social media. All right, guys, thank you so very much. I so appreciate you. I will see you guys next Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel. We're going to talk about algorithms. All right, I'll talk to you later.